Well, we have done it. We are live on this beautiful Sunday. Hi, everyone, and happy Sunday. Welcome to my Brunch Tarot. Gosh, it's good to be back. The week flies by so fast, and I miss everybody so much. I'm going to turn excuse me, didn't take any Allegra today, so I might have a little bit of a cough. Turned my sound up just a bit. I know everyone likes to keep the sound nice and high. And if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, be sure and share, like, and subscribe, and click the bell notification so that you can be notified about all the future videos here on the Oracle of Whimsy. So gosh, it was so nice of you all to come out and spend your Sunday brunch with me. So let's start by giving gratitude, starting with the first people to show up. Hi to Alice Robbins. Good to see you. Dawn G is in the house. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Jeanette Moore. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to be down to earth. Thank you, Jeanette, for that compliment. Pamela Doss, hi. You're here on time this time. Tony Florendo is in the house. Beautiful lady. What a sweet thing to say. Fill her in. Hi, fill her in, Bogelin. Good to see you. Good to see you. Carla Weekly is in the house. And Julie Tirado, hello, hello. Sarah Eschweiler, welcome, welcome. Beautiful emojis. Thank you. Those are very lovely. Or beautiful little designs there. Carol Bastian, welcome, welcome. Johanna Moeller Quilter, hello, hello. And I love those stars. And thank you to the people who have already started giving donations. They are much appreciated. Super Queen B donated $10. Thank you, thank you. Goes to support the channel. And also Pace Yourself. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. We have so much to talk about. Oh boy, do we have so much to talk about. It's interesting, you know, I've been doing some remote views the last couple of days. Thank you, Mei Yang. That's awfully sweet of you. Thanks for the donation. So before we get started on the remote views, we're going to do remote views. Thank you, Impish Artist. Thank you for that donation. It's much appreciated. And thank you for the pretty little thing there. It's very nice. Hi, Mark Rhodes is in the house. And we all want to wish Mark Rhodes a belated happy birthday. He is 29 years old again. So congratulations, Mark. We won't say how many times he's been 29. So I also want to give a special shout out to a couple people who have been really important to the channel. Michelle Taylor has been a really helpful moderator. Hopefully she'll get this message. She's been helpful in organizing Friends of Whimsy, as has Susan Broshin and a couple of other people. And it was not my project, but those ladies really, excuse me, did put in an effort to try and help people. We've kind of dismantled that program. You know, the 1.9 trillion came in. I think we're all going to be okay. So we've kind of moved on. We're not going to be doing any Friends with Whimsy buddy system anymore. Sorry, it's just we're not able to continue that. But we do give gratitude to both Michelle Taylor and Susan for their hard work. So thank you, thank you. The cat tower. I got it on Amazon, and I'm having an allergic reaction right now sitting next to it because I was fine earlier. I said, I don't need to take my Allegra. I'm not coughing that much. Thank you, Connie. But unfortunately, I have a pretty bad allergy. Thank you, Ana Masita. That's so kind of you. You know, it's interesting what Carrie is talking about here. I just want to go ahead and pin that. And I hope you'll all excuse me. Does everybody mind if I just go and grab my Allegra? It works pretty fast. I don't want to do this to people in cough. So let me just take a minute. Everybody can read what Carrie G said, because we have some remotes about that. But I'm going to just go grab my medicine. I don't want to be coughing through today's session. Hold on. If you do have a severe allergy to a cat, which unfortunately I found out I do, this stuff works pretty good. I'm doing the Allegra 24-hour. So I have so many things I have to do before I go live, and something as simple as not taking the Allegra is sometimes first on the list. Okay, let's get started. Remote views. Let's do this. Is everybody ready for the remote views of the week? I think we are, right? Okay, so there are multiple investigations currently going on in the Trump organization. So what I decided to do is I decided to go in as a remote viewer, and I didn't really necessarily pick a target. I wasn't doing HCRV. I was doing traditional, excuse me, a more traditional form of remote viewing. I'll show you some of the remote viewing maps I did last night, and then we'll get into it. Let's start with this one. This is the first map I did. Does it sound okay? All right, here's the map. This is the map we're going to be going through. This is my mind map from last night as a remote viewer. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to scan the energy in the FBI as it's focusing on the Trump organization. So basically, here's what I found out a lot of stuff, but I know some of you watch this stuff really closely, so maybe you can answer the question about some of what I've been seeing. But the feds, here's the first thing I saw when I went into an FBI investigation on Donald Trump. The feds are concerned about documents that were either stolen or destroyed regarding Donald Trump's involvement with the January 6th insurrection. So it would appear that the main investigation at this time is the January 6th insurrection, believe it or not. Everything else is secondary. That January 6th insurrection is being taken extremely seriously by the feds right now. And one of the things that they're looking at is concerns that documents linking the president and his people to the insurrection would be destroyed. So the feds are now looking at documents that are destroyed. They're also looking at potential laptops that were disposed of and cell equipment. They're looking at, they're also doing forensic laptop. They want to look at the forensics of laptops that were associated with the president's, the people that were assisting the president, basically. So when you go into this energy, it looks like forensics on laptops and also looking at malware. There's another investigation I saw where they're wanting to get search warrants to go in to search out laptops and computers and malware in Trump properties. They suspect that there's additional malware in Mar-a-Lago and other Trump properties, and that this stuff was collected and is going to be destroyed before the feds can get a search warrant to go in. So this is a big investigation that hasn't been public yet, but so that's what it looks like. So basically what happened was that foreign governments put a bunch of malware in the Trump organizations, and then he was wheeling and dealing and communicating with people, and they were interested in the business sector, et cetera, and American competition. So now the feds are trying to get in and get this malware, in addition to malware and forensic information on laptops associated with the Oath Keepers, etc., and possible communication with people that were working with Donald Trump. So this is the first thing that I saw when I went in. There's a real possibility that we could see a federal raid of Trump's properties. They're looking for something and have search warrants. This is an FBI investigation, and it's quite serious. That's how the feeling is. Now, the second part of the remote has to do with sleeper cells. But we can go ahead. Does anybody want to talk about that a little bit? The first remote, and then we'll go ahead. We can do some card readings on it. I just want to dip people's feet in this a little bit. So can everybody see what's started to happen now? Hi, Sheila. Glad you're here. Did everybody get where we're at right now? So basically, he's no longer the president. He's just a civilian. But meanwhile, all this stuff went down in these properties. So as far as the feds were concerned, there's just this civilian businessman that potentially has all this malware and links, and they want to do forensics. So that's that investigation. All right. So we have that. Now, this brings up the issue of how the FBI and the Attorney General may have been compromised. So I'm going to go ahead now. Oh, it's on partial lockdown due to COVID. Doesn't surprise me because they're having a resurgence, they think, in Florida. Florida's in an emergency right now. All right, so the next remote view we're talking about has to do with sleeper cells. Again, I was using a more classic remote viewing technique. I was not using HCRV. So when I say that I was using a more classic technique, this is where I used a technique where I'm kind of like a bloodhound. I will scan a grid, and then I know the emotion in my body that I associate with a particular thing that I'm looking for. Thank you, Lisa. That's very kind of you for that donation. I love animals too. So I was looking for the emotion, fear, that cold, terrifying feeling you get when you're scanning for domestic terrorists. So I knew the feeling I was going for as the empath. This is how you can use an empath as a bloodhound, right? So I was walking through certain neighborhoods or scanning certain neighborhoods looking for these sleeper cells and potential terrorist cells. Here's what I got. As I scanned, I located an area that was northeast of DC. Northeast of Washington, DC, I found a sleeper cell. So I'm a typical American. I'm not very good at geography. So I had to open up. I did the remote and I found the sleeper cell as I headed northeast of DC. So then I had to open up the map to find out where the heck I was. So I wound up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which sounds like a beautiful place, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Has anybody ever been to that? Has anybody ever been to Lancaster, Pennsylvania? I did some research on Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it's Pennsylvania Dutch and also conservative Republican rule. And it looks like, from what I was able to find out, that we may have some caches of weapons. There are sleeper cells, there are bunkers, there are massive amounts of weapon caches, etc., that are going to be found in Lancaster. So we can go ahead and document. Hopefully, if they haven't done the raid yet, but we'll be seeing some type of raid possibly in the Lancaster area. This is a domestic terrorist group, and they're They also expect possible activity coming out of Allentown, the vicinity around Allentown. Quite a bit of weapons were found cached in those areas. All right, so I just thought I would make an announcement because some people want to know general area where the FBI is looking. And thank you so much, Bee Spirit. What a lovely donation of $15. It is greatly appreciated. It's I've never. I mean, I was in Philadelphia briefly for like a day. But when because at first I got pulled northeast of DC, and it was really quite solid. And then when I landed, I thought, okay, same thing as like when I wound up in Millers Creek, North Carolina, when I wound up in the middle of that basin and saw those. I was surrounded by mountains in the bottom, and there was a stream. I was like, where the heck? And then I pushed forward 100 years, and it was this beautiful oasis with organic farming. But I didn't know the name of the actual place until I went and looked at an actual physical map. So that's what happened here. I did the remote, I wound up in the energy, and then I had to go back and go to Google Maps. So the two areas that I found again, where we could see, and also I think they're going to find some weapon caches, is Lancaster and Allentown. Okay, are we ready for the next remote? Or do we need to keep talking about that? Allentown is old still. Yeah, there's some folks there that there's some dangerous stuff going on in Pennsylvania. The feds have a problem, and they know they have a problem. Thank you, Adventurous Spirit. That's a really kind donation of $20, and I'm very grateful. So listen, folks, I want to talk now. I want to talk a little bit about the next remote viewing. It's kind of related, and I think people are going to find it interesting. This remote viewing has to do with investigations into the president's pardons, the former president. We'll say number 45. Because in this was the remote I did last night. So in this remote that I did last night, this took me, when you go in, those of you who are remote viewers, those of you who do HCRV like Sheila, you'll go down, you'll attach to a target emotionally. Thank you, Douglas. It's really sweet of you. Appreciate the donation. You'll go, when you do HCRV, we feel this connection like Tantra. You're connecting energetically with the other person, and it really is it basically is a form of Tantra in the sense that you're connecting with their chakras, you're seeing information that's coming from the chakras of the other person, you're merging with the chakras, and the closer you get to the chakras, connecting their chakras to your chakras, the more you're going to be able to collect data. What will protect you if you are an empath, a Tantra person who's trying to do HCRV, is that you have to stand back and look at it objectively and not look at it from an emotional perspective. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you for that big heart. I bet you do have a big heart. All right, so I want to talk about 45 and what happened. So when I went into this energy, this was crazy, you guys. This is crazy. So the first place I wound up had to do with the pardons that Donald Trump gave to Steve Bannon and Roger Stone. And one of the pardons was for Steve Bannon for taking money that was supposed to go towards building the wall. Does everybody remember this? The feds have refused to drop the case. even though Bannon has been pardoned. So this sets up the stage for Trump's pardons going to the Supreme Court. And I think that that's what's going to happen when you go into this energy. I think that 45's pardons are going to be possibly unconstitutional. So here's what I heard when I went into the energy of the prosecutions. We are arguing, here is what the prosecution said to me in the remote last night. We are arguing that the former president's pardons are not constitutional because the president was a co-conspirator in the crime. So in plainer words, he was the co-conspirator of a crime, and he pardoned people so that he himself could not be convicted as a co-conspirator. So prosecution is setting the stage for this to go to the Supreme Court. So that's the first thing to prepare ourselves for. Now, when I went into the energy again, thank you, Karen B, for that donation of $20. Oh, yes, it's my birthday tomorrow. That's right. Thank you. I will be 29 again as well. Yes. Thank you for the birthday wish. And it's going to be a good birthday. I bought myself a beanbag chair. It's so awesome. Maybe I'll show it to you guys before I close out what I bought myself for my birthday. I'm like reliving my childhood in my 50s. It's just awesome. You know, I get myself little presents. What's going to make you happy, Whimsy? Create heaven on earth where you're at. So I bought myself a beanbag chair. There you go. All right. So 45's pardons don't appear. Oh, did Glenn Kushner say that? Dang. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think that that is exactly what's going to happen, folks. I think that, thank you for the birthday wishes. I've completely forgot that I was having a birthday. See, I zoned out. Yeah, so I think that that's what's happening, is that they're going to challenge his pardons. Now, this gets to be, now things are going to start getting really weird in these remotes. As everybody knows, when I went into the remotes, I found all these people that were doing things they really should not have been doing. One of the things that they'd been doing is having secret meetings with people offshore, people on boats. I know Steve Bannon was questioned because Steve Bannon was meeting with Guo Wengui. Is that his name? He's the person that funded the New Tang Dynasty. Trying to find the notes on that. But basically, when I went further into this energy on Steve Bannon and his information where he would start creating chaos, Steve Bannon's chaos, that's what this is what the map looks like for Steve Bannon, Guo Wengui, the Chinese businessman who was living on the yacht that is, you know, is part of the fake news. It looks like now the investigation with President Trump's pardons and Steve Bannon is looking at offshore communications. Thank you, Marie Wells. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Offshore communication. So if you look at the map, one of the things the feds are trying to look at is ways in which people have been able to communicate without federal involvement. And this was crazy because one of the things that I found out, and I think Malcolm Yance would be able to contribute a lot to this, but it looked like one of the reasons that the wealthy have these yachts is they have these communication devices and they have this life offshore, and they can go into independent waters and basically do whatever they like. It made me think that it was kind of like they were living the life of pirates, these wealthy billionaires with these yachts, in the sense that they were an island unto themselves. They could take off on these mobile yachts, similar to nomads. They could go deep into the ocean, communicate, have business meetings. It couldn't be, their activities couldn't be detected by foreign governments. And what I found was offshore, mobile, untraceable communications between these millionaires and billionaires in unmonitored waters and meeting in islands where they engaged in discussions about money, trade, hidden money, political decisions, etc. So what happens is they go into international waters and they're communicating and having meetings in islands and on these yachts. And so that's one of the reasons why the feds and the international crime units are having trouble finding these people and bringing. It's not just the wealth. It's also the fact that they literally live outside the purview of the authorities. Isn't that crazy? Wow, what do y'all think about that? Somebody had asked about how could Meghan Markle have traveled if the British family took her passport away. And that's a good example of just how isolated the wealthy are from the poor or from average people. The wealthy don't fly commercial. They fly in their own private jets. They often will land in their own private airports. Security comes onto the plane. You don't even have to disembark. The passports are handed from the people who work for the monarchy, who are on the plane, take care of all of that at landing. And then you and your entourage leave and go do whatever you have to do. So it's not the same. The wealthy are not like you and I. They have private roads. You know, I used to be married to someone who's his brother sold planes for a living, private planes to the wealthy. And as a birthday present for our father-in-law, he decided that he would take the plane for a day. And so he sent the plane to a private airport in Encino. They sent us a limo. It took us to the private plane. The plane left when we told the plane to leave. There was nobody else on the runway. We landed. We flew as really, really low because we wanted to see the Napa Valley, and we asked to fly low. Then they flew us to another private airport near Santa Barbara, I think it was. And then from there, they sent us a private car that took us to a private road to Pebble Beach, right? Where we were on a private road, on a private estate, on Pebble Beach, watching people like John McCain play golf. They don't live in our world. Everything is isolated. So what I took away from that remote was that everything is isolated, everything's controlled. It's almost impossible to be able, with that level of money, that level of security, and that ability to simply go into international waters or islands, etc. It's almost impossible to be able to, unless you've got spies or something like that. I think that this is what Malcolm Nance was talking about. Oh, thank you, Susan Lynn. Aw, thank you for the birthday gift. This is sweet. Yeah, they handle flights and stuff. It was, oh, thank you, Foggy Ozar. Thanks for the donation. Anyway, I got to be rich for a day. I got to have that experience of flying, jumping, running up to the private plane, and you've got the drinks and giving the order. The plane leaves when I say so. You know, like, it was awesome. It's horrible for the environment. It's one of those things you only need to do once in your life. All right, everybody ready for some blitzes? We have to do the empath's prayer and do the collective. Is everybody ready for the collective? Let's do that. Collective reading. We'll do the empath's prayer and collective reading. How's that sound? And then we can go ahead and do some blitzes. Does that work for people? Yes. Okay, so we're ready to move on. Isn't that crazy though? Wasn't that a crazy remote? Like I didn't know. I'd heard my Allegra's kicking in. It works so fast, like 20 minutes. It's awesome. Um, I had heard what Malcolm Nance had said about these big yachts and everything, but this is bigger than what Malcolm Nance was saying. It's like blitz away. Yeah, we will blitz away. But this was bigger. This was like complete impunity. They do whatever the heck they want. It's crazy. All right, let's do the remote. Let's do the empath prayer. Thank you, Mojo. Very kind of you. All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and my viewers as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, for the planet, for the people we love, but also to help those we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Let's go in and find out what our week is going to be like. Good to see y'all. I love Sundays. Thank you, Tamara Rose. Aw, Thor and Loki. And Tammy. Sending love. Yeah, I mean, the power, there's got to be some kind of international response to this because this is terrifying. That level of power amongst the wealthy, it's very dangerous. It's very unstable. It doesn't stabilize the world. The other thing is if you're wheeling and dealing and saying, this is what my country needs, and you're putting American lives at risk because of your personal interest, this is what's going on in the real world. And you want to make these people happy, these wealthy people who are doing whatever they want without having to answer to anybody because they simply go into international water. Hey, I can do what I want. We're having meetings in international waters, and we've got islands, and you can't intercept our communications. This is what's happening. It brings to mind the idea of why being a billionaire or a trillionaire, why it's dangerous, why it's dangerous because of the amount of power these individuals have, and the fact that that it seems to be above the law, any laws. Where we are at right now, a new beginning. For the group, we have a Page of Wands moving in and a Four of Pentacles, which is the card of, oh, thank you, Joe Lowry. Happy birthday. Thank you. I am having a happy birthday. So, a new beginning in spring for many of us. As I had said in previous remotes, anybody who wants a job can have a job by May. We have a $1.9 trillion relief package. So it's cool. The feds are going to be hiring. The state is going to be hiring. This is, of course, going to create competition for the private sector. So it's good. May, we're chugga, busy. There's a Four of Pentacles here, which is a frugality card. So I think it's wise for people to be cautious for the next couple of years. As I had said in previous remotes, we're switching to the new economy. We want to get to those floating cities and that beautiful world that we're going to be creating, but it's going to come with starts and stops as we do away with the old economy and we give birth to the new economy. So be a little reserved, frugal. It's also a card of looking at one's situation, healing one's situation, in the sense that the Four of Pentacles is my Buddha card. It's a time when we really look at our situation. We are about our business, as they say. The first card going in for us is the Seven of Wands. I like this card because it's the defender of the lands card. It's the person who defends the land against multiple attacks, but it's also a person who could be feeling that much of their, that we're coming out of a state where we felt like we couldn't fight anymore. This was a hard couple of years for us, coming through COVID, coming out of the nightmare of the former presidency, wondering whether or not even our country could survive what happened. A lot of people are in a defensive mode. Seven of Wands. What crosses us right now? The world. I think the one positive thing that came from this experience for all of us is that I don't think, even though this was horrible, in my lifetime, I've ever seen the world more united, in the sense that we were all together going through the same thing. We were all together facing the pandemic together. So despite the fact that it was a difficult time, we also came together. The planet came together. What is above us? Making some serious decisions in our lives right now, my friends. And victory. We've got victory after tears, truth. It's kind of like the joke. I've been talking to people about that. You can't handle the truth. It's like, yeah, we can. We can handle the truth. We're steely-eyed realists. We can handle it. Thank you, Pierre Walker. It's very kind. Appreciate the donation. So Ace of Swords sits in the third house, which is the truth. It's also a victory card. It's victory after tears, solid judgment. The world is crossing us. What sits in our past placement? The Tower. So the Tower has already come. Remember when I had said in previous readings, like the Tower's coming, then February hit. I don't think that the news really covered just how bad it was, these blizzards. I don't, just how many animals died, just how bad it was on the farms, the cattle, etc. It was bad. So we're coming out of a pretty brutal February. Where we're headed, look at this, inverted Ace of Pentacles, still going to see some economic crash. Take a look here. One inversion, and the inversion, unfortunately, is the Ace of Pentacles, the crash, action, reaction, an inverted Ace of Pentacles. We've not totally seen the financial consequences yet of everything that's happened. Expect there to be more shifts and more adjustments in the stock market, I'm sorry to say. Where we're at right now, still COVID. The problem is a lot of people don't want to get the vaccine. And unfortunately, the longer we don't get vaccines, the more time the vaccine has to evolve, shift, and change. And when that happens, it's questionable whether or not these vaccines will work at all, because now we have a new type of virus. Because we're talking about something that has very little genetic material, and so it can change quite rapidly as it moves from host to host. We're concerned about these new strains, these new variants taking hold, and then those strains changing again and again and again. That's a possibility if we can't get to herd immunity. You can see here the first house COVID card, angry wind energy. What is around us? The solid businessman, sane, grounded energy. That's why I feel like it just feels so positive where we're headed as a nation. And then the final outcome, the Knight of Cups. I feel like vaccines are going to be available really fast to everybody, because you can see this Knight of Cups coming in. It's a beautiful time we're coming into. It's almost like, the crash is going to happen. People are starting to really take care of their health. Good for you. Yeah, I'm up to hiking again. And I went through that whole COVID thing of, isolation, not wanting to go out. And now I feel like I'm back in spring. I'm back to being physically active. Be careful about bad habits, too much alcohol, too many cookies. I love sugar, for example. I've really gotten addicted. So that's something we have to be mindful of. But overall, I would say to the group, be frugal. We're not out of the woods financially. Expect more adjustments with the market, some of them quite intense. But overall, the trend line energetically for everyone is really pretty positive, both in terms of our health and also in terms of coming out of this. The sugar for me, you see. Temptations that impact our health. All right. You know, it all balances out in the end, as they say. All right, so we're ready for the blitzes. Blitz, blitz, blitz away. Yeah. Any questions about that? I have been using the stevia. My night drink is, I just like lemon water. I just like lemon water. I don't even put ice. Well, sometimes I put ice in it. But sometimes, okay, Kristen. Sometimes I put, a little stevia in it and drink it. And then I play chess at night. That's kind of like my casual. Or I'll make an herbal tea. Oh, you got the Pfizer? Good for you, Patty. Everybody wants the Pfizer. Like in Europe, they don't trust the AstraZeneca, but because Pfizer is the closest you can get to pure, that's why it's kept at -70. It's the closest you're going to get to a homeopathic because there's nothing in it. But the thing that's like, homeopathy is like treats like, so. Yeah, I guess in England, everybody's refusing. They're refusing the AstraZeneca, and they're saying we're only going to take the Pfizer. But I would take the Johnson & Johnson because it's only one time. Yes, the monk fruit is also good. By the way, that makes a great chocolate bar if you've ever had the monk fruit sugar chocolate bars. Monk fruit, you know what I've been doing? Coconut sugar. Oh, you got the Pfizer too? Yeah, I wish I could get the Pfizer. Well, I think I'm probably going to get my shot next week. Oh, you got the Johnson & Johnson, Douglas? Good for you. Only one time. You were denied the Pfizer? Well, it's the green one. It's the one that seems to have the body seems to treat it like just another foreign protein. Oh, the Moderna. I heard the Moderna is pretty good too. They're all good. The controversy is the AstraZeneca, which is probably fine also, but there were a couple of clots or something. All right, let's blitz. The first blitz, let me open up the questions because you all had some good questions. And then we'll spend about 30 minutes doing blitzes. All right, so the first question we're going to be looking at has to do with the investigation into Steve Bannon and the fact that the feds have refused to drop the case. Also, as I'd said before, he's part of this disinformation, and it's linked to very wealthy business people, some of whom seem to be having these meetings overseas. It's very scary how much power they have, particularly when they employ someone like Steve Bannon to do their dirty work. So I think the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to take a look at Steve Bannon and his future, because the feds really are having a hard time getting him. This is an interesting person. As I've said, I believe he has worked possibly as an informant, and that's probably kept him out of jail. But I just want to see if we can get any more information on him. Sound good? Thank you, Pierre Walker. I hope I said thank you to you. All right, let's take a look at Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon. What's he doing? Well, thank you again, Pierre. Steve Bannon, what's going on with him? See, I get this. Overlooking the waters, the ships. It's like these are communication vessels. These are like communication vessels. It's like they send documents, information, or something. The feds can't get to the lab, can't get to it. And then that is how they're communicating with these foreign governments, is through. Can you believe this? I'm telling you, this is how they're doing it. It's with these offshore, and they're using boats. They're so clever. Boats, cryptocurrency, international waters, ways of blocking communication. Horrific. There's something here about the Knight of Cups who comes on the white horse, who brings the elixir. You know, I wonder if that's how Steve Bannon is perceived of by the people that hire him. You know, he's the fixer. It's not just that these people have more money than God and are working in international waters and have the largest yachts in the world and are wheeling. They're independent countries almost, with hidden money that will never be found, with more power and resources than the federal government or Interpol or anybody. And they're basically doing what interests them politically, whether it's Brexit or destroying a government like the United States. And so, in a sense, conventional warfare wouldn't work with people like this. He's the hidden queen, the businesswoman who hides her coin. What crosses him? A leader. This is also Bob Mueller's card. It's the perfect judge or the perfect leader. What is above? The truth is coming out about him. Hidden truths. Something about him, a healing offer here regarding truth. His karma. He's coming to face his karma regarding some truth that's coming out. Some truth coming out that could lead to some pretty bad news for him financially. Look at that. 5 of Pentacles is coming in. Something's happening in April with Bannon that could cost him financially. Yeah. I think they've got new evidence against him starting in April. Look at this, trying to hold evidence. His final outcome, 6 of Cups. I'm telling you, this guy's an informant, or he makes deals with the feds and it keeps him out of jail. This guy is slippery. Look at how much information. This is 7th house. That's the treasure trove. Victory coming, hopes and fears, the final outcome. There's a crash coming for him regarding his relationships with the past. And it looks like it's going to be happening around April. So listen, here's what I think with Steve Bannon. I think his luck is running out because that's a terrible outcome. And there's something here about evidence, some truth coming out about him. I I think that the feds are being driven crazy by this guy. I think it's really frustrating. I think it's exactly, I keep thinking about what Malcolm Nance has said about these yachts, and how I piece it together is that the only way you would be able to find out what these people were up to is by sending informants in. And I think the reason why a lot of these people didn't get arrested, whether it was Epstein or anybody else, was because part of how they stayed out of jail was they were on these islands, they were on these yachts, they were doing deals with these people, and they were considered VIP. Some of them were like princes and kings, etc. It's almost like Bannon is peanuts. He's nothing important compared to what the underlying problem is here. Yeah, basically it looks like he was an informant, that he was able to make his money this way so long as he occasionally got debriefed by intelligence agencies about what he was up to, and just tell them enough to keep himself out of jail. It benefits the intelligence agencies to keep this guy out there, even though they hate him, because of how much information they've been able to get. That's what I think is saving Steve Bannon. I want to check Roger Stone next. Because if this pardon is being rejected, then, and Roger Stone is part of this, then Roger Stone has done a lot of favors for people in the Republican Party. He's saved a lot of campaigns, and so a lot of people in DC owe him, and to some extent he feels that that's protection also. So I just want to look at Roger Stone next. Thank you, Patricia. Roger Stone's future. It's so weird what I saw last night about, those feds are really close to raiding. They're treating January 6th like I guess it is an emergency. Roger Stone. They're terrified. They want to bring this insurrection down ASAP. And so that's probably the leading threat to Trump and his cronies right now, because it was so serious what they did. It's interesting, isn't it? Interesting cards. So Roger Stone's future, same thing. Past loves and offer, Ace of Cups. I'm telling you, they're not the most important. Remember when we went into the remotes before, we said that the real investigation was following the money overseas, wheeling and dealing, international waters, it's some powerful people. It's the money. See, he got Ace of Cups straight up. It's the money. Look at this, double aces. He's done a lot of favors for a lot of people, and that's what keeps Stone out of jail. Yeah. Watching the money. They want it. You know what they're doing? They're looking where Stone gets his money. They're watching his money like a hawk. Look at that Four of Pentacles. There he is again. It's like the Mueller card. Somebody's following his money. Somebody wants to talk to him about his old relationship. Somebody's offering him a deal. Somebody's looking closely at what? His money. Here's this guy, the ethical leader. Well, he sits in, there it is, the police. Also, this can be Trump's card. The military, his past placement, he was in a strong position. Now he's headed into conflict. Yeah, they want information. What I always get with him and Bannon and all the others is that they have a lot of protection, and so it makes it almost impossible for them to be arrested. But they give little bits of information and work as kind of informants, and that kind of keeps them out of jail. See? It's these liaisons. It's these other... Yeah, there's some information coming. This is the missing link of why the feds don't arrest these two people. Defending against multiple allegations. Why they get away with it is because they occasionally give the feds information regarding other cases. But his time is running out. He's got multiple allegations. He's going to court. We're going to see additional charges against Stone, multiple charges, and it's linked to how he makes his money. They caught him with the money. They found payments. But the thing is like I said, he's an informant, so getting rid of him means you've basically cut off one of your informants. Now you don't know what's happening in these areas with these people, with Guo Wengui or whoever, if you start arresting the people the creeps who you tacitly allow them to go be creepy because they're giving you information about these people. That is coming to an end for this guy. I think that Stone has served his purpose, and I think the feds are kind of disgusted with him. Bannon has more protection based on those cards than Stone does. So Carol Bastian writes, I saw a report that Trump is months away from starting a social media platform that will be a game changer. What do you see in this regard? Well, I mean, it goes back to these millionaires and billionaires investing in these fake media so that their business this is how they take care of their business. So, So if 45 is going to be involved in, media, we can do a quick check on that. What is Trump's future with the media? I just keep thinking about the FBI. Like, how can Christopher Wray stay when there's so much evidence that he worked with Barr to bury investigations? I mean, I just can't see any way that Christopher Wray, given what's starting to come out, is going to be able to stay. You know what I mean? There's his media. Ace of Cups, he was given an offer, right? So the media companies wanted to hire him because he's like an entertainer, right? He's a showman. Where he's at right now, celebrating the New Deal. Yeah, he wants to make money. It's the new grift, right? The new grift. That's his card. Yeah, happened. It looks like they're planning a major launch this summer. You can see the summer card, August. Quick. Judgment. There's the Emperor. Business. There's the contract. It's so many appearances, or he's working on the they're working on some kind of a appearances. I still think he's going to do like a Mar-a-Lago show where apprentice to the president. Yeah, businessman emerging. The clarification. Oh, there's going to be legal problems regarding contracts. Some fears. No. His final outcome is the Ten of Swords. I feel like a lot of these business plans that Donald Trump has will be stopped in their tracks. What I'm seeing here is that a lot of Donald Trump's business plans will not go forward. They will simply be stopped in the mid-track. So no, I don't think I think it's going to be stopped before they have a chance to do anything with it. All right, so Carol Baston asked a second question, which was good too. So I'll go ahead and put that one here too. She writes, what do you see about the future immigration issues and border problems? The border problems. So we've been here for about an hour. So if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, be sure and share, like, subscribe, click the bell notification. What do you think? Should we take a break and let people use the restroom, and then we'll start on the border? We'll talk for a minute. People that need to go can take off. The political situation in Venezuela. Absolutamente. Just going to take a minute. If people have to run to the restroom, we'll do our after hours now. 3 days for the election in Israel? Yeah. Oh, student loans. Yes, student loans. A lot of good blitzes y'all come up with. Oh, the Brazilian COVID doesn't surprise me. Okay, so we are just about ready. Everybody who was going to have to use the restroom, used the restroom. Are we ready to get started again? Voters' Right Act and the student loan is slavery. Well, I'm not paying mine back. So, I mean, I pay a little bit every month, but. All right, let's go back to doing some blitzes. It's been 2 minutes. All right. So the border situation. Let's go ahead and do that. Woo-hoo! Oh, Lumine, see if you can't get the Pfizer, if that's true. All right, what is going on with the border right now? And how is Biden going to fix the border? This is a problem. God, those poor people. All right. here's the thing. It definitely, wow, that's interesting. It looks like the border situation is going to be fixed. It looks like they're going to close down the cages. It looks like they're going to fix it up and make it more humane. But here's the other thing. I see a memorial, some kind of museum and a memorial in the area so that people can come, flowers, and some kind of beautiful thing is going to be created with flowers, etc. That's kind of like commemorates the immigrants and celebrates the immigrants and commemorates what happened. I see money and investments going into creating a compassionate way of processing new immigrants to the United States, but also celebrating the immigrant, like gardens, flowers, etc., so that people can remember what happened there, but also to kind of make a decision as a nation that we're making a statement about the importance of how we treat immigrants and how they contribute to our nation. So we can see here that the world comes to us and that it gets our wish. So it's kind of like with abundant work and labor and there's a feeling of abundance coming to us, and abundant work and gratitude, and that's kind of the change that happens at the border. These are human beings, and there's a new feeling of dignity, that these are people that are fleeing a war, and there's just a humanity returns to the area. The karma has to be dealt with regarding what the crimes that took place there. It has to be remedied. It has to be corrected. I was listening to what Susan Lin was saying about forgiveness. I was watching her video about forgiveness and how it's not good to get angry. And that's true, that if anger festers for too long, it can be deleterious to the health. But if we see anger as something that's there to tell us that something went wrong and we need to correct it, then anger can be a wonderful motivator to fight the good fight. And so we don't want to totally throw anger away because it's there for a purpose. We want to use it to construct something positive. And that seems to be where we're headed in terms of this karma. Yeah. Also, there's a green capitalism card here. I just feel like there's so much that's going to be going on in the southern states, particularly the Southwest. The economy of the southwestern United States, Mexico, Texas, Southern California, is completely transformed socioeconomically with the green economy. And that dramatically changes how immigrants are treated. Yeah, there's more work too. Modern new processing facilities, flowers. Like this just looks like a very humane, beautiful environment where immigrants come in and are given assistance, jobs, work, welcoming. I think some people that were involved in, excuse me, some people that were possibly involved in abusing or mistreating migrants will probably be facing criminal processing, because you can see the 8th house. Somebody had to leave regarding abusive relationships. They have to leave again here, hanged man, and then facing jail. Instead, this is a welcoming card, the 9 of Cups. This is the banquet in the world. This is the green economy. This is the new business. The old ways are gone, which were violence. Personal empowerment is the future. So yeah, it's I'm glad that part of the 1.9 trillion package will go to making that area a lot nicer. That's what it looked like. All right, so next question. Wasn't that cool? It was like it was a beautiful building. There were flowers. There was a nice little commemoration for all the other immigrants. You go into the facility, your basic needs, what's going on, you're processed in a very compassionate way. But what I liked about it is I liked that they had built gardens, etc., to commemorate the area and the people that had suffered in the past. I liked that. All right. So the next thing we're going to be doing is looking at the political situation in Venezuela. Could somebody please ask that question and have me pin it, because you don't want to see Dr. Anderson's spelling. Venezuela. The future of Venezuela. Could someone type that out and I'll pin it? Or one of the moderators can pin it. Thank you, Liz. Oh my gosh, Venice. Okay, so it's 2 E's. I was a little confused about that. All right, let's look at the future of Venice. Is everybody having fun? Isn't this a nice Sunday, getting together with all you? And it's just, I love spending brunch with you all. Now, a lot of people had asked me about which protein shake I have, so I'm going to go grab that real fast before I throw this. I have 2 scoops every morning for breakfast. I put in some frozen berries and some oat milk and chia and banana. Oat milk, chia, banana. Just remember, oat milk, chia, banana, and frozen berries. Look at the ingredients. Yeah, it has everything. It even has the imperial adaptogens. $23, $24, organic. 24 servings of fruits and vegetables. The reason I'm holding this up so long is because I get 100 questions and I can't write everybody, this is the one, but this is the one. All right. ORAC protein and greens. ORAC protein and greens. There you go. All right. The future of Venezuela. Let's do it. Bye, Dabney. There's no flavors, just ground up vegetables. It tastes like bitters. No sugar. All right, let's see here. All right, the future of Venezuela. It's a new partnership coming in. They're building alliances with other countries or allies. There's a woman in leadership that's coming. There's a woman that's going to be emerging as the leader of Venezuela. You see that? New beginning in April, strong female leadership. A new job. There's women coming in. There's a new partnership. There's a whole new group of people coming in. Wish granted. Yeah, it almost looks like they're being audited by a new group of people. Yeah, intellectuals, exchange of ideas, constructing something new. People are in the clouds, hopes and fears. It's like a new person comes in. Yep, strong female leadership. Fighting, possible more economic disruptions, but again, it moves in a direction where there's new leadership that's going to be happening in Venezuela, and it's going to be more gentle, and I see female leaders emerging. So there you have it. Venezuela is going the way of the woman. Strong female energy, strong female leadership, and possibly something is going on with the economically with the international community assisting, possibly through the EU and the World Trade Organization is somehow involved, and strong leadership with the World Trade Organization came up. There's some affiliation there. All right, so we're going to look at the future of student loans. Yeah, Mila's having her happy nappy. All right, what is Biden going to do about the student loan debt? New beginning, and there's a new woman who's going to be heading education. Betsy DeVos left. Does anybody know who the new person is? I'm seeing a woman here and a new beginning. Ooh, money coming for the student loans. Look at that. Empress moving in. Creative, abundance, and wealth. What's crossing? The green economy. They're going to use the green economy and the extra money coming in to somehow pay for these loans. Look at that. The green economy is going to pay them off. You can read it yourself. You can see Empress Gaia. You can see harvesting coin from the tree. It's pretty easy to read. You see a new beginning, a female leader coming with the karma card. Easy cards, easy breezy. Easy breezy. What is above? Oh, fast and furious. What sits below? Strong. The past, the karma. They got too greedy trying to make money off poor students with these with this exponential growth. Exponential growth. A celebration is coming for the students regarding the feds are defensive. The hope and the fear, education, scholarship, the future of the nation in terms of education, a new beginning, a new dawn. We're gonna, you know what? Here's what I think. I think that it has dawned on the powers that be, Biden, et cetera, that if we don't clean up our primary and secondary education in this country, we are going to fall apart, because we have people in Congress that think the earth is 6,000 years old because of homeschooling and lack of resources, people not feeling safe or good about the public school situation. So you can see a new partnership in regarding what scholarship, learning, education. Again, here, new beginning, new partnership, a celebration. We're going to have to start investing in education in ways we never have before. And here it is again, the offer. We will find a way to work out the student loan crisis, because these are cards that would suggest that the money is there and that they will probably be able to take a portion of the profits from the green economy and put it towards the student debt. That's how I would interpret this. All right, that was positive. That's good. That's not bad. I can live with that. Miguel Cardona is the head of education. Lovely. Well, there's a woman there too. Beautiful Queen of Wands came in. All right, so we're going to do one more, and this is the voter, excuse me, the Voter Rights Act. The Voter Rights Act. So, a lot of people are having feelings about the fact that we're trying to override, we're trying to get rid of the filibuster. We're trying to get rid of the filibuster, and there's some concerns about whether or not there's so much voter suppression going on that, you know, we're back to Jim Crow at this point. So let's go ahead and take a look at the voter suppression and what the Senate's going to do. And we'll try and see if they're going to do something about the filibuster. I think we're going to get rid of the filibuster, but let's take a look. Hi, Sue. That's kind of not how it works. But thank you. Thank you for sharing your ideas. Okay, voters' rights. I have to delete medical advice. I'm a doctor, and even I have to watch my medical advice. Okay, the Voters' Rights Act. All right, let's take a look. You know, you go into the energy about the voters' rights, and immediately it's a feeling of depression, because you've got a Five of Cups. There's a grief here, what we have lost. You know, I was thinking about this yesterday, and I was thinking that it's obvious to me that the white evangelical Christian church is just where the Confederates are hiding out. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's Christianity. It's like a Confederate cult that's masquerading itself as Christianity, because they seem to, this cult of the white evangelical churches seems to be pushing policies that are part of the Confederate or racist agenda. But you have this energy going in of just tremendous grief, and then the King of Pentacles, which is slow, methodical. Like, why in 2021 we're dealing with this stuff? And it goes back to who's in charge and people wheeling and dealing, and the average person is not having as big of a say about what happens in this country as these other folks that are off making these deals. Ace of Pentacles, you know, that's kind of unfortunate. You could be having a situation where people like Manchin want money, or you have to sweeten the deal for them. What are you going to do for West Virginia? West Virginia is going to hold the rest of America hostage. You better give us what we want. I don't think West Virginia should worry, though, because they're going to be a very wealthy state if they embrace the green economy. Can you imagine if they started growing marijuana and the green economy and organic wine and all the other things that they're set up for in West Virginia? Also, I saw parts of North Carolina. Money, unrealized money. False belief systems. If you have false belief systems about women, minorities, anything that's based on hate, it's actually going to inevitably cost you a lot of money because you're not based in reality, but you're also isolating people. But there's a money issue that comes up here and transformed. So rejecting offer. You can see here rejecting the offers because of some financial concerns. This is like, it's about economic leverage. That's what it looks like. It looks they want to keep the filibuster because they're worried that people are going to push through and that they're going to be left behind financially. That their state's going to be left behind financially. New Deal. They're willing to consider ending the filibuster, but there have to be some guarantees for certain states. There's a new beginning, Ace of Wands. Yeah, I think we're going to get rid of this. I think we're getting rid of the filibuster. And in response to, look, a new beginning in April. Look at that. This is my April card. 1 month, right? Because wands are months. Within 1 month, we're going to be seeing changes with the Voter Rights Act, and I think we could be seeing the end of the filibuster. Oh my goodness. So yes, I think that voters' rights will be protected. I think that the student loans are going to be forgiven. I think that what we're going to do is we're going to take the profits from some of the new green economy that the United States is setting up with private companies, and we're going to use that to pay back our debts. And I think that this is Joe Manchin. This is Murkowski. You know, the holdouts, right? The lovers, make a deal with me. The Queen of Swords comes in the 6th house. You're not going to be able to put this behind you and move on to a new deal until you first work out some kind of a deal with the people that are objecting to it. And it looks like the deal has to do with economic incentives for their states. You can see Ace of Pentacles, Death card. All right. There you go, people. Did everybody have fun? I had fun. Aw, Catherine, that's so sweet of you. But I have to send out all these thank you cards. I ran out of stamps. Cindy, Anita, Lisa, Tina, I got your cards. All right. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. Thank you for supporting the channel, all that good stuff. Tomorrow I'm doing an interview. Let's see. Joyce Cullen Adams. Interesting reader I found, Joyce. I'm very curious to talk with her. I was playing on the internet and on YouTube, and I like to see the new emerging readers. And I thought Joyce did a very good job. So I'm going to be interviewing a new person tomorrow, and I guess it'll be on my birthday. And hopefully you'll all enjoy meeting Joyce. The HCRV, I want to build handouts and do a formal teaching. And so it's probably going to be a join. It's a lot of work. But I've been advised by people to do that because people could take the HCRV name and turn it into something that it isn't. And so that's probably what's going to happen there. All right, love and light, everybody. If you're still trying to get into a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com, and we will see you all next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.